very, very well. And me who dreaming. Honestly, me say Joe Fernandez say opeso fi Barcelona no. Eye me one pa because me susu said Joe would request to leave Barcelona. Na nkomo ni nyina ho ne say Joe no ni manager De La Peña. Mo amahwe ball ache munim De La Peña. One of the finest footballers abebo ball with Spain. Ivan De La Peña. Yitrun kwabo ansumu obasa. But by Espanyol to musa woni ball ne ball. De La Peña ono ne manage Gavi. Ono ene sa manage Eric Garcia. So open someone or connected to Barcelona, a draws manager, De La Peña. Now, let me give you a context. De La Peña, na down for Louis Enrique, Paris Saint-Germain for coach. Now, if you don't know, Louis Enrique Krase, someone he describes as a best friend, Ivan De La Peña. Kent, if you get me those pictures, sir. Luis Enrique Koye coach for Roma. The assistant was Ivan De La Peña. Because Okwa no did time bia. And De La Peña be agent. When Chelsea had a conversation with Luis Enrique, it was De La Peña who was at the meeting. It is a Joe Hernandez Casa Opeso Free Club with Mukwa. It is quite obvious to say, me te PhD and yame wawa. Because De La Peña or manage Luis Enrique, some manager Aquarano. But you see, come away, a dosu dodo. And Quarane wa Barcelona no. Almost siswa. Na obia recent times they are looking at Pau Kubasi. Lamine Yamal, once they are getting playing time, automatically, I was some susubinya playing time. Mama bobo ni bianeche se mum pemasam and the meko. And that has been the trend recently. Me kwa Moriba mun sam krada, I'm not going there. But recently, you want a Chelsea for Befa Maggie, and again, the conversation is say Barcelona for non quarano, omusiswa. Release clauses 5 million, 6 million, 7 million. That makes sense because they say release clauses this one. It's a clubs the year I know my convince say I could answer Barca for my body be bra. Magi you call Chelsea. Sa afasa emfa mwanka sa manitia. Now, drawaway last year before preseason, Aquadana Barcelona won the Mujidi na Tony Fernandez. Na Aquadawi. Na Tony Fernandez e pray. In Kwanani bia na Barca e wo mujidie no pawu pre mu nyina no omu fi club no mu koyu. We no nka ho Hans Flick saw him. He wasn't even at the La Masia. No omu under 19 ni mu. So it was Hans Flick that directly took this guy from Barcelona's under 19, not even in the La Masia. And of fairness, I'll make a team because we who say Aquaran were talent. And not now make a senior team. Now watch this. Hansi jumped you from under 19 to the senior team. And say, oh, senior team ni mo kakra. No, I want La Masia ni mo kakra. Afe, what is the problem? Aquaran say, kid. Or expectation case so nya playing time because who the future. Jesus Christ. Hey, just say, "Wa nyamnya dom obi aboa wo no. Onyi bai. Afi on the 12th of January I know the 18 years old.
I say the system for them. Obo 16 obo we was 17. We do 18 na onye hu n'animi ya.
Say, timer Gavi, Pedri, Daniel Omumu pride no expect say ko benya minutes abo Hans na number 10 one or pebo no Hans Flick made the half in yamu ko gina ho abro no number 10 to onya bo ni bimbo nti ohun ni future ye into Opeso Free Club remoko 18 years inkodai this said there ayewu but see I admit now say coach you know this season Hans Flick nkwara asam no ojai onye no to say last year bebre say nya sa on say Mark Bernal ne nkofo person ko loan kakra no konya playing time because onya boni bi more because Hansi Flick per results. But this boy situation, I think it's like a easy way. Minutes no one Kenya bado because you're not even. He was not the best player. De La Masia na make under 19 krano. I doubt. Insi kayan kakra and kakra and kakra. But clubs that what you please they say once they see talent, no makwadano. Ubebo, yebe more chance, bra. Inti omunya convince akwadano and really close they 7 million they say F to say the Chelsea for ebefa Magiu at the coin. But the last question I would want to ask they say this boy episode free Barcelona ekope playing timer. Clubs na airport no okwo obenya boni biabo na. Because I doubt to say wait okwo Chelsea obenya boni biabo. Say City onya boni bi mo. Paris Saint-Germain onya boni bi mo. You see, I am surprised. Say I want playing time, so I want to move. If you want to move, go to a smaller club that will give you a playing time. Hear that, or probably the easiest way out. And say push for a loan out. And say loan, it makes a lot of sense. Say I think say me crowd and Kamenyanka. After na deco nanse no the contract extension go to him. He should have listened to the project Barcelona have for him. But anyway, Drew. We should all the best. Barca for so I think some woman unko say asabna yaye bibri dodo. No more concentrate on other talents. Ken, they toss you. Manchester derby no wo. The met me can say. United knows very well say City at Old Trafford. We have very very comfortable grounds for Manchester City. Teams are equal winning games kese pa Old Trafford recent times in City. Na in common ma share Amorim last days. And ma be share Darren Fletcher kakra. And I meet City the Michael Carrick Eka. Ken. One problem Darren Fletcher kept on reflecting to us and say, moving Manchester United from their 3 back to 4-2-3-1 no. Seem no a lack of width. 0 wingers. 0 wing play. Because when Ruben Amorim was moving the team from 4 back to 3 back, they made sure say wingers, natural wingers ni na omo because team no have a 3 back team. So they needed inside players. And until I'm for Brian Mbeumo, Ekofa Kunya Edibai because these are not natural wingers. Or we inside number 10 for. So the recruitment was geared towards 3 back inside things. So what's also a move from 3 back echo 4-2-3-1. You need natural wingers in the team. Natural wingers no omo. The last one ba ko no ko Ganacho yi omo so man ko yi. Inti I was say Kunya. I was say Brian Mbeumo and the holding weights in Manchester United. Clearly, these are not natural wingers. These are wingers Akunya offer born from the left or yes that type of place offer born the first instinct the bani tribune say let me take on the defender. Brian Mbeumo offer born on the left the first instance is that let me take on the defender. And as I say, Sesko no so born out born confidence na Ebano. When you give him a lot of crosses, I say or build the confidence in crosses near there. You see, such transitions, natural winger inside number 10 not a problem. Jot that one down. I'll come back to it. Number 2. Who is story? No, Manchester United concede goals, baby. Yeah, over 3 center backs. Now the 2 defensive midfielders, Ejna Wenima, you don't need to concede chances, let alone goals. Because 3 center backs, 2 defensive midfielders, Ejna Nimua, at least sort of protection into we are guaranteed with it all. But the rates of Manchester United conceding chances, even with 3 back, they are alarming. But the advantage was that it was accommodating Casemiro, because Casemiro into 3 back no anya biano na otimi bokakra. If you go to 4-2-3-1, which we are about to witness under Michael Carrick, HSA spaces ebeto bebre. Into United, they will be prone to conceding a lot of chances. Into suddenly I worried about Manchester United. Conceding chances with 3 backer. The 4 back is going to expose them more because they don't have a proper DM. And let me give you a context so that you understand well. If I say proper DM, I don't mean to say Casemiro or a bad DM. I mean to say a prime Casemiro and Kamada problem be anyhow. And then Casemiro no. Only sa one day na obe cover sa spaces na right back beja wako, left back beja wako no. And see, nka wo experience defensive midfielder like Casemiro nebia wo proper defensive midfielder bi oye djuma gidi then Casemiro will use his experience to help him. In this case, Manuel Ugarte cannot do it. And today, possible say Kobe Menu and a Barbecue. Just imagine, say you are giving your and again Manchester United defenders, they are not too strong. Possibly, Ebe Eden Haven and Lisandro Martinez. Lisandro is very good, but I feel of injury ever. And see, if these two these defenders way, who Jayomo now I can say Kobe Menu and Casemiro then protect you one. What problem? That is why I make us say, and then the approach is very important. Sir, Darren Fletcher, you know what to say? Oh, let's go and attack Manchester City. Let's open up. You know, I'm sorry. They will concede chances because I feel City for creating chances in the break. Sa trade draw na a twat so na City for ball draw twice so miensa. Ama leg na AIS style bi no. These are games that Manchester City created chances and they were wasteful. It's a chances creation in the Premiership no opien or to Manchester City. It is a team of creating chances bebre who open up which are the manual chances never. I know to know fast Semenyo di number no. Semenyo so meboa Haaland in terms of goals. I've told you say the entire 2018 Manchester City for the 98 points AJ Liga, Liverpool 97 that went to one of those reasons we do not talk about in the City front three: Sergio Aguero, Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling. Every season, Aguero Emma Manchester City 21 Premier League goals. Raheem Sterling gave Manchester City 17. Now Leroy Sané Emma City 10. Maria Sakrana na Okamubino, also man 7. Aguero was scoring, Raheem Sterling was scoring. So City needs Semenyo to also add some numbers, which I'm sure so far so good, which I'm sure say about what was so. So I would want, if again, that's the only way Manchester United for me to bomb, and I want them to go back to the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United. Very compact. Let Manchester City have the ball. Because City problem is that without the ball, we are very, very bad. So let them have the ball. Manchester United can take on Manchester City in terms of counter-attacks because Amadaba, Kunyamo, Brian Ibuemo, their strengths in transitions. You see, the strength of Manchester United today should be on transitions, not controlling the game. But Manchester City advantage. Ken, Chelsea ni Brentford no Obika Chelsea a small game and fe niagro. And yes small game. Brentford for the last 8 games, wouldn't say Chelsea ashamo one pay. Timna, it's Timmy Chelsea pa Brentford for no asango for no. It's Liam Rosinia. The press conference in the Ken may say 1 minute to cry that because I enjoy listening to him. Onim kasa papa. Inti akasa ode kasa no ode adwuma be kasa no na ayede na de atwam ko premiership no ene na ehase ade ama no. And he started with a tricky game. Brentford having the last 6 games omulusu game and omoba Stamford Bridge. How do Brentford play football? For possession in your way. They will allow you to play. Their strengths are your long balls. Say all defend it. No aje ball. No ball one long ball. Kevin Sada and Igo Thiago. 2 players way partnership no solid. Inti obema waba na aboesiwechi. Oma oba na aboesiwechi. Afei so one strength are set pieces. Ekwanya kayo de be fa so afa ball na wa to ball no you say eba it said you be e de 9 abo ball no going back to the Stoke City days. Rory Delap it's for the ball no if you learn how to manage and the only problem because and now and a sort can say oh Masha Brentford for no I will manage almost set pieces and for no call 2 throw I know my go. The last time Chelsea played game against Arsenal, Liam Rosinia catcher and said, well, when who Arsenal set pieces, they will stop it. You bought first corner kick, not at Chelsea. I would want to see, say, in Quafono throwing in set pieces, these are second balls, ya two ball, ya two ya obedient flaky, ya the next person who are share corner kick, ya boy, ya no obedient up him. The second ball no be about Bob Sadian their channel. How do Chelsea stop that? Because one of the painful things about Brentford for say, "Oh, bebo possession in na you be reach no, not on one board draw and answer was show." See, this is what I'm expecting. Chelsea for no, a better day, advantage Chelsea and the lineup. But I want to see Palmer play. I want to see Extravao play. Pedro Neto mo. Not me shadi again. A build up no, very important. Since me tell say double chance Chelsea. A tricky game. Ken Brentford for normal hygiene. They are toss you. Real Madrid no Ken. Say obi be doubt say Florentino Perez. No metsiase kakra. Management ni bia. Aso omunwi no. Nya misi hei. Wonim say ye pam Alonso a omo ball abelu adi no. I thought it was interim. I thought in the next 7 days, Real Madrid were going to appoint a different coach. Because I see Abelua no, ya pamo no Abelua di bento mu no. I was like, okay, the next week coach from Eba. Inti man see Madrid for so Abelua continue, but make sure so we win the trophy. The man, I was like, ebe yeni. And the risk partner for Florentino Perez it take you because if we hear about fact say obi a oyo unknown. There are a lot of unknown coaches. I am on space. I am on Jumamo obi no. A lot of doubters were around, but of course they did a good job. Maresca did one at Chelsea. Pep Guardiola did one at Manchester City. Zinedine Zidane. There are a lot of examples. Inti Abeluano, Florentino Perez, I'm on a chance. Either he goes the Pep Guardiola way or he goes the Andre Pelo's way. Say Pelo. We a legend, ya more chance, but you went to Mianya and no one knows who then they will be. You see, I have 2 options. But Papa take a risk, beer. Me, I see, I am in one. Say Abelu and Abejo because the sacking of Jabi Alonso, dear. Me, sure, some penny for management, no, I am worried about that too. They are not worried about the sacking of Jabi Alonso. Rather, they are worried about the appointment of Abelua. Say Abelua air towards summer season. I don't know more question. It's decision idea. It has been taken, though a risky decision. Name of Abelua no one can say to the be am say Abelua no. Ono so den why they are born because amount of the human say I'm far. One year baby or bet say e dey afa no nya enye baby ketwa. Say a fast so abuano. It's Ben Obeya as a coach. He needs the players. Nyamia demand the quality is there. Okwasa players nechi. Only players need free. Who motivated players no. Ejuma na aka no kete. Into how do you get the players playing for you? One, already. Team no down. We lose to Barca. We lose to Albacete. Motivation will camp form. The next 5 games are crucial at the Mabelua. Because Ken, say Abelua winning the next 5 games. Sa de wa bonte supporters Nico Bu fans no Vinicius Junior Abelua say de nyina to obetwa, then he can have his peace of mind to do whatever he wants. Because all these noise, so results ba obi abeka na no atom. Sasadia Abelua the next 5 games nyamiadom he is starting with Levante fie. Obo Levante we are Obebo Monaco fie 2 games Santiago Bernabeu. The next away game is at Villarreal. No asanso ako Benfica Champions League. No asanso abebo fie against Vallecano. Whatever the situation is, Abelua needs to get here first 5 games on to so 5 wins bibia to obetwa. Na chance papa de diamano no so no akasa anya chance no adwuma. Maybe obeti afa ne nya baby ketwa. Barca, I'm expecting a win for them. Ken. CAF Champions League no. Nyama na Asia ye bobo final a omu gu AFCON animu ase no. Sa Morocco ene Senegal no. I think say CAF for no so ka ho bi. Eyenum gu ase say ye bebo final. Na social media space, nobody is even talking about the final. Nebom nyama ACC ye bebo final no. Ken. And the video that came out to say Senegal for APA and the train station what ni pardon place ya kobo final. Na ye jar place na the ama supporters na ye pim place na place ni timi ko no be oh. Embarrassing things for the AFCON. Now, Kenny. The tournament is being organized by CAF. But Morocco FA no so they cannot take themselves out of the organization because almost why the local organizers into a CAF cum Moroccan Football Association. Okay. If that is the situation, the minimum say inka a crucial final bisa okay. Say Senegal for no if one city, eba another city a yebebo final no one. Don't you think say inka was say ma omo VIP place the Bianca place in Abefa. Inka omuishia normal passengers simple. Mibisao. Suddenly ka ensia na. Say a crucial game. Final ni ebebo. Senegal for na ba bedru. Ebia ya VIP passage be special one at the ama boys no. Inka no get say. Because yenyama abontin dey see wa abontin ho. Because time no omo banim pono. Omo banim inside ho. Nenye easy obia to egu boys no so and Senegal for no so I announce say supporters no ombaba at this time Senegal supporters ni be go gates. Now I don't have a problem with that. Sagana yen you do finals and the Black Stars for no aba sa town ni mu a in Central for supporters ye kwa akosia boys no e train station wo normal. Name what is not normal they say it is the responsibility of the security guys to prevent the supporters from getting to the place.
The security is no, Jojo was saying, because
I want any problem. No. I want any problem. No.
Because we train station, we rather one na almost 4 left, no 3 left.
Aye.
And because no much any problem.
Bebre on to go almost.
7 passengers bebre so.
Ah. It's very, very bad. I just see in Senegal. Say most Senegal for no acquire Senegal, Morocco, Biato to money on. I think they should cease fire. What happened in there? Very bad. A lessons learned. Now you now more because born so dear. And we bad honestly, Ken. Me a bias towards Morocco. Honestly. Me person Morocco G. Me person Tio Ken Wadaroma. So obi investment. Na investments in a sumba faso under 23 sigged, under 20 sigged, under 17 in food. Say be bia sick da na akabako now the backup ken wadaroma.
That's
Me yad ye but Senegal for no me Morocco fuchi.
Morocco.
me try say me compressing your man metimi wura matches ni ma dia be see AFCON. Straight away my room and a big game because so England. Manchester United, Manchester City. Ken, you say season Arsenal. So we compare Manchester City ni previous season. Now they ready this season. Generally, once Manchester City modern bono any as compared to previous season. Now Manchester City dominating England. Now Manchester City performance was through be brave. But everyone said this season the general performance of Manchester United. Manchester City and to say Canino still na no me better than Manchester United. Me nya sure say league na ye boni this season no. Obi bedi hu akiri say Manchester United modern ball was so say Manchester City dey be. Michael Carrick ne first game against Manchester City. Obi expect a lot from him. There na odeba. There no beti mabesi say Manchester United bobo konim. But very difficult task. Eddie ama prepare friend say Michael Carrick because say over ball first game Eddie tia Manchester City a. Why we need to say be a tough game. Adi ama hu Manchester United all season. Ye share league na say ebesine. Manchester United bobo no. Most especially omu kusia big clubs are. Manchester United enye team a on na dominate play. But adi ama hu Manchester United bobo ni say. Omu kusia big clubs na. Omu try say omu mumbe absorb pressure. Omu mumbe try some be contain opponent no. No ma make sure say omu use omu transition. Any opponent ne edi abo. Enti ko check Manchester United against big clubs na. Eya asa no mo ye no. Playing Manchester City ene. Adi ebe hia pa no say Manchester United. On bet me defend ye. That's the most important thing. What's Manchester United and it na Manchester United weakness. Manchester United weakness how we defend it. And omo ba be share Manchester City na dia Manchester United betim dey good results. Say Manchester United betim apply defensive principles ne very well. So we check Manchester United bobo ko akin. So we cap Premier League 20 clubs omo si akan wo Premier League ni ma. Teams o ma consider goals kese pa na Manchester United toso 7. Wa consider 32 goals. And to be able to consider because omo ntimi apply defensive principles ne well. And tiene some person munya sa win na playing against Manchester City. Manchester United be what ability so bet me delay opponent Man City attack na eye baako. Manchester United e bet menya balance e wa akire ho eye mienu. Manchester United omo defensive line, omo last defensive line no, omo bet menya protection, omo bet menya cover na. Enya dia Manchester United be hia wo game nim. Because Manchester United for omo last defensive line no, I likely say be Luke Shaw on the left, Dalot on the right, Harry Maguire and a branch friend Lisandro Martinez. So 4 players we ebe here other players for Manchester United say omo mo betima ba support you omo no mo make sure so metimi defend as units. So omo je adwuma ni nyina de koma Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire, Dalot ni Luke Shaw. Manchester United will suffer and suffer big time. At the time ya Manchester United bobo ko no ade ehia pa na say Manchester United for no betima defend yi eni ade a ehia. So we Manchester United team a omo problem enya attack. Say so check Manchester City team na ke. And for say Manchester City this season no enye hu sa no. Manchester City ahoden pa no say so omo so ekura ball na omo attack. And the first thing abo Pep Guardiola na Manchester City so be na say omo kura ball na omo attack a open numbers e wo mfimfin ho. And to Rodrigo Cascante ebe she mfimfin ho bi. Abranti e friend say Phil Ford be she mfimfin ho bi. Check be she mfimfin ho bi. Now I'm a branch friend say O'Reilly now all ball as a left back no e push e invert become midfielders na ho no met me nya numbers won finfin ho the moment o menya numbers won finfin o mo nsa be ka ball ni bebrebe no na for the Manchester City for asase say o ma utilize o mo weight no say enne kwa Manchester City for so esi akan and say so watch Man City e weight na after 7 menyo be ka ho no Manchester City the last time na me catch say o menya a weight creator no say Bernardo Silva na be bo say a branch friend say Doku na be bo omumum e won tenten ho no ombetima create dia Manchester City na branch friend say Antoine Semenyo no onso so e with a finisher onso be she goals ne dia mo ansa no ma say nya boss dominator in the shape of Haaland into the entire Premier League ade dia no mai
se pepe so ano be chasa so boy na be so je
o ye so ko
na do ye dia
na so pe so che.
It is a young father says, I'm right. That's the cool left. Check move the be free chair.
Obetima converting that be number 10.
Na omo bench no kra nya sempeto.
Say Fanese say obo Doku on the left. Now obo Antoine Semenyo on the right. Number 10 rule hono ebe either 3 players. Bernardo Silva betimabo. Phil Foden betimabo. Ana check is betimabo.
Na say Barca mi unu
betenanche. Enti says wahwa obetuma decide say obetuma Maduku afiri bench aba. No ama Antoine Semenyo ashase from the left. No the Bernardo Silva call right. No about Phil Foden.
Na me tie Pep kakra about balance. No here balance we anymore say na osi no. Na omuni di Newcastle boy na me hu say coach is almost suani.
Yeah.
When him say Oma Doku ball left na Semenyo ball right na game never na we Oma Semenyo ball left.
Eba. No kwen pa. Eye me de so steady sadie no.
Bia no unya je ope bia unya.
On say so tie Pep Guardiola balance asema de akem no. Football defensive department ehia balance. Midfield department ehia balance. Forward line ehia balance. Ye share season ase no. Na Manchester City bobo. But no ni balance we nim ho. Balance no ni we nim one say our boss dominator. Haaland be sadie ndi ama no. Rings no our creators. By omuntimi nhye goals. Entina oni balance we nim ho. By Semenyo be share mu no. We nya Haaland as a boss dominator because Haaland no baby na hoden won pan ye se penalty box mo be show. Enti we nya boss dominator. Say intenten ho no. Se odi Doku ba, Doku jibo. Onimtwe samuye tu mpokro obetwon. Obekriti.
Na sa boy no call numbers ha. Premier League say ko na the best player.
The last time Krasana Kwaku analyze
it. Our numbers ha. Or the best player of Premier League.
Form na wafa.
Because he say na more than the kura na nyako.
Ana we improve. Ni decision improve.
You pack Ghana against England. Doku left.
So can balance a we money na na say no intenten on so ma say nya Semenyo a on so betima ma goals no ento menya balance ento so ko Premier League ni ma team a wa she goals kese no City team a wenya big chances kese City enti so ye Manchester United ade a Manchester United betim de nya good results ye say on betim defend ye Manchester United problem enya attack ken ye kan Manchester United team na wo ho no only be 2-3 games per ano muntimi she go ye ka teams o ma she goals e wo Premier League we Manchester City through we Arsenal through Manchester United enko fa game cause so because Manchester United team no win matches bebre dominating games bebre but in terms of goal scoring ability Manchester United wo ho so playing against Manchester City the only way out for Manchester United you say obetime defend Manchester City e chire ho no eyo mo tire expose teams say time be two omo high line no teams say timi to na editia City and it's Manchester United ebetime defend ye dia Manchester United betime nya good results but when timi defend ye dia na etefa so dia Manchester City for better team because City enim hono mo players more ability to score now come Michael Carrick the first interview o he ni training na no ye na o say omo bo papa ono anka say num Michael Carrick say obema Manchester United abo exciting style of football o say Manchester United supporters ebe twebo a efe
Rondo yo mo bodi Barcelona mo be pass
Ken Rondo ni di obetima ye ba o kwa kuhie obi onim ye sen wo bo efe no onim bo nsen City for enti meme de meme Michael Carrick ene Manchester United boboku na de meme ko ne ye say me ko hwese metimi enya results no dan say me ko pe bo efe because boy efe no nim bo nsen Manchester City for no e game ba ko a over 1.5 over 2.5 ebp mo game nim Chelsea and Brentford I was the Chelsea used to game we as a turning point e wo mu season nim Chelsea she season as a kama but Ken only my baby the last 15 points at Chelsea in the Premier League omenya triple the last 15 points e Premier League Chelsea nya 3 we draw against Newcastle we lose against Aston Villa we draw against Bournemouth we draw against City and we lose against Fulham so say biemu mpokra the last 10 games at Chelsea are in the Premier League we win Burnley ni Everton pe the last 10 games in the Premier League Chelsea win just 2 games and so what check Chelsea ye share season as na nkofo kra target Chelsea say omo na yetimo betimi aha Arsenal dwen but say tia no won tiba fon and Chelsea last 2 games I was Stamford Bridge in the Premier League we draw against we lose against Aston Villa and we draw against Bournemouth and Chelsea and Casan recently no more performance no drop and drop so playing against Brentford Chelsea need any excuse than to win because some men winning no mo draw na so mo lose a ebesa ma Chelsea atia be chiri playing against Brentford ye share season na say from match day 1 ekosi match day 15 na Brentford lose 8 games na nioma nkoyi by killing himself from match day 16 ebesi match day 21 Brentford lose game ka ho bi na push you omodi omaba beto 5th on the league log and it's over Premier League table now say Brentford for match day 16 ebesi match day 21 no ometimi abobo na omu lose game ni bi e de omaba that 5th on the league log Chelsea recently Brentford for na Chelsea ba be shi omo no omo modembo no ometimi improve and so we Chelsea na akwa akosia Brentford and what's our Brentford all form and your Brentford only form say Brentford team no omo position pokro omo da no omo de bi say Chelsea and to ye Chelsea untimi underrated Brentford boboku no na ade asese omo season ama ye say Brentford for no etimi perform very well na ye say ukosia Brentford ade omo di kan ye na ye say omo make sure say o midfield no omo best stop midfield omo ma midfielders ni enya supplies ne nko enti omo block midfield so Brentford dey kwa kosia Chelsea ade omo di kan ye na ye say omo ma Caicedo Enzo Fernandez ni Cole Palmer entimi nya ball ne emfa attack from the central channel omo be force Chelsea say omo nko win so no omo nya cross and this style I say Brentford for use so omo di nya points omo pe the moment omo be force so say ko wide no o cross here omo players omo players are in terms of high balls omo timi pick the moment omo be pick ball ne pe na fi the wa nim say direct play ne ko omo je ball pe Calvin ana Dango Watara ebe true me ka no de ball na komo omo Dango Watara afi the ono so na be feed Igo Tudor Igo Thiago omo striker no this season wa 16 goals e wo Premier League nim enti ade a Chelsea hia ne say e was Chelsea impose omo game no on Brentford e was Chelsea dominating enya midfield solidity no na Chelsea etimenya omo 3 points no sanye saade aken Brentford team na ma witness recently no omo form no was ropa yi Chelsea to omo nyoma e impose omo game no on Brentford enya sa midfield solidity na Chelsea benya omo 3 points Liverpool Burnley no disrespect to Burnley enye game Abraham and why analysis straight win for Liverpool team no nyoma nkoye mfama Liverpool by then say Burnley Chelsea a team friends Liverpool bet na fie na Burnley akwa Liverpool team no so straight win the my team friend say Liverpool Nottingham Forest ne Arsenal nim say match we or drop points are emboa because the last game against Liverpool or drop points onim say osakwa we are na Nottingham Forest for J points ne be free in sema other teams close gap no a bit to Manchester City and the Queen bia so team friend say Arsenal be go in for the 3 maximum points ade am ni je Arsenal team no ye say ye bo match a situation bi o mutimi adapt so mo koshia opponent ni dominate you ma o metima adapt no metima nya results o mo pe o metima kwa koshia team bi team ni be na against so obesity Arsenal be dominate enti na ma mi gidie say Arsenal enfa ho say o last game o drop points against a Liverpool team no o metima kwa win against Nottingham Forest na Arsenal team akwa kunya points o mo pe eno so me kwa win or draw e de ma Arsenal team no Real Madrid ebo Levante ken Miami team Real Madrid Nancy Wakolusu against Barcelona it was Spanish Super Cup Oba ya o Copa del Rey only second division team wakwa free Oba be share Levante or the 19th on the league log the entire season Levante etime win 3 games we enye tactics enye abalu asem se oye Vinicius Junior oye Jude Bellingham oye Tchouaméni oye Rodrigo sa players we nyina na okwa koshia Levante na wo hwe de esi wo Copa del Rey mu na wo ka kire me se obetina fie untimi nche Levante ken me nim de tactics e was abeluwa ebo enti se Real Madrid for start na fie na omobo draw anase Levante be shock you ma egi players na nkasa because enimguase na ya adoso na nse wo ye Real Madrid supporter untimi nsre untimi nji wani de bia nkofo twetwe because nyoma enkoyi enti se obo Levante na wo say Adesa Abeluwa bo wiase tactics ansa no wache Levante be mwawa straight win for Real Madrid de bo Levante team we enye analysis enye tactics asembia se o ma lusu sa game we dia ye to je o man straight win for Real Madrid Real Sociedad na fie against Barcelona from there 2014 ever 2016 Barcelona ko Sociedad fie bia na Barcelona struggle ne best draw na period that Sociedad dominate Barcelona but nanse nyoma asesa until last season Barcelona ekolusu wo but nanse ndie Barcelona ko Sociedad fie bia otimi konya results ope any advantage baako a ɛwɔ hɔ de ma Barcelona deɛ ɛtɔ so this season Sociedad more ni soro as compared to previous season ball na Sociedad ɛbɔ no ahoɔden ni ade a ne anim Sociedad ne yɛsɛ sɛ wokɔ ne fie anoita hɔ na ɛyɛ ana ɛden so ba akɔhyɛ Sociedad banansen Sociedad ankasa fie ɔhɔ ayɛ mmerɛ enti La Liga teams ni nyinaa 20 clubs ɔmo compete ɛwɔ Spain ni nyinaa no teams ɔmo ntimi winning matches ɛwɔ fie pa no ɛyɛ Levante Real Oviedo Sevilla ana team ɛfɛ ne sɛ ɛyɛ Sociedad ana Sociedad ɛba be face the best away team ɛwɔ Spain currently sɛ wokɔ La Liga na the best away team ɛyɛ team ɛfɛ ne sɛ Barcelona ana Sociedad so ntimi dominate opponent ɛwɔ fie badeɛ baako a ɛboa Sociedad ne yɛ sɛ can you say season as when you 3 different coaches by the current coach in the last 5 games Sociedad lose match and te gradually Sociedad for the air pick omo points air pick omo form no na adia e wa Sociedad that so far no ma sadia mo money say omo bono omo emphasize on pragmatism omo mfa ho ni philosophy omo mfa ho ni style of play omo ko game ma omo dia ne say omo ko hwe opponent ne strength no ma capitalize on the weakness enti omo de o metima defend ya no many omo results omo pe and na pragmatism in football and na you say eboa Sociedad nim say yen kura ball no yen bo ball no yen possess yen dominate attack no Barcelona for be sad no so the only way out as Sociedad be yen say and yen twe players ni nyina ba akiri na Barcelona for weakness kese ba akopa e omo highlight yetimi time runs na near the ball na kwa anim ho eho ana Oyarzabal ebetima use ni individual brilliance eho ana Carlos Sele ebetima use ni individual brilliance eho ana Takafusa Kubo ewo ho the same thing as Lucas Susic enti adia Sociedad for me yen say ombe use pragmatism ewo game we mu say yenko defend na yen hit Barcelona for no on the counter break but dia ba kwa Barcelona team this season here say se game kura ye den a Barcelona wo coach bi a ot bench any technical team or multi bench straight away ombe time read the game e dia ma no ma sesa nyoma e dia ma team friends Barcelona e advantage kese weapon kese ba kwa Barcelona wo this season and two pa check this season ye wo matches bi wo ho a emutimi e den de ma Barcelona men ka se matches ni nyina by majority emutimi e den de ma Barcelona coach e read anu asesa nyoma Barcelona bitime nyomo 3 maximum points say Barcelona gradually collective play net nyasa improve Barcelona bobo na roles e clearly defined Rafinha nim say ye kura ball no be move inside Abrante friend say Baldi nim say obe overlap Abrante friend say Frankie Dion nim say on the beji ball from deep from the defenders no sha say or dominate play Pedri nim say ono and be breaking lines Lamine Yamal nim say obe stay wide and expand the opponent etiken Barcelona team e wo say no oma build the confidence coach ni read the game players ni roles e clearly defined e be den say Barcelona e ba kolusu game we against Sociedad Barcelona were simple crabit makwa draw big advantage for Barcelona after no Senegal ni Morocco oma ya de so medu this stage Senegal wabo AFCON 18 times wako final 4 e wini ba kope Morocco wabo AFCON ba ko 20 wako final 3 we wini ba kope that was in 1976 50 years ni enti e two countries will be a penny second AFCON title if it is here about African Cup of Nations only 7 countries and I did 2 or more trophies ever AFCON. Ghana ye ka ho. Morocco ne Senegal. Morocco and Senegal be age 1. Enti wa obeji we no, udi ko 2. Se me hwe Senegal ne Morocco ewo tournament we maken. Omomodem bo no very close. Unse den hu major, unse den hu difference kese. Senegal 6 games we win 5 for draw 1 and they do final. Morocco 6 games we win 4 and draw 2 and they do final. Now the country make us some game no any bibia ye penny say offer Senegal team na oma ho den ni dey oma ho den ni say wingers beje ball fullbacks be join it midfielders and dominate the same thing applies to Morocco and to Morocco game no is Azuli and the operate on the left side Brahim Diaz on the right side say on betima foundation pa timer Hakimi Ashraf and Mazraoui right back left back a join attack omo join attack I hope and Brahim Diaz mo it be bobo ni bi the same thing applies to Senegal Indiai and Sadio Mane wo wing so Crepin Diata esusu e wo fullback area ho ana Malik Diouf esusu e wo fullback no ma join and sana Sadio Mane mahu game ne so enti
Malik Diouf ne South Nigeria left back
Bruno
why not
Bruno ball no ball anu edi o
sa kwa no sa Lamine no agent so the ball be fa
on so de no no on so de no no On so den so betwe no. Ana Bruno no so na den so be ha. One ma Ibrahim Diaz for game. You want two left backs are so far. Oh yeah, pa. Me no ya adwen. Enti two countries ni yake. Omo wingers na ye key no be hu game ni so you full backs. Okay. Enti the only thing game we wa be win game no. E be gina wingers and full backs. Se Senegal person stop Morocco. I just Sadio Mane ana India yi. E ma Hakimi Ashraf. Ana Mazwai en ba o mani bebre. Sa so na Morocco be hu game ni so a. I just say Brahim Diaz ana Abdi eso so en ma Crepin Diata. Ana Malik Diop mu enhu game ni so. Enti wingers ana fullbacks ne best game ni nyina. Meme de personally from Yebesha AFCON ase no. Morocco na ma support ya me pese Morocco ji 50 years de ken. Okay. Oma hosti, share facilities, oma bre. Say you move. Enti me de me ko support Morocco.
So finally be able to miss.
Tournament we ankasa the teams are na enjoy omo football power AFCON nim no. It was Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and Sana mebo Morocco account. Okay. Omo na ma enjoy omo pa. But unfortunately Cote d'Ivoire ko, Nigeria ko, aka Morocco, or Senegal. No crepa e wom ne say looking at the kind of investment that Morocco team na ye no. Morocco crew na ye no. A lot of us have gotten that kind of heart for them. Say investment in so bam faso. Say investment in so be bam faso. Tournament a Morocco gi bia chepa. They've only won it once.
They say Ghanaian players be in Vietnam.
Among Vietnam.
They say Ghanaian players be in Vietnam. They say the only man that tries to go home. Because you cannot with your railway. Worry. 5.5 billion. 1% the next 10-15 years.
Yes.
Most of the football.
Football society. Ken, a proper planning.
Morocco for investing.
O plan year. Morocco could invite young teams no. No mo ma kwotena Morocco. Omo ma duane di. Eye bibia mo. No mo ni omo bo friendly matches. Just to study how we play because omo nim say about football in Africa. One of the powerhouses Ghana. And the man football no. Ye di mo ntintimban. Nti say ye pe obi asua free ni ho no mo a. Ye fresh uncle for we near the omo boy betimi asua bibia free omo ho. And clearly, ade bi omo ye bi pay off. Look at their performance at the World Cup level. Okobo semi-final. So World Cup. Look at the teams they met. Proud to the semi-final stage. Spain money at the end. Yeah, you know me. You call World Cup now. Your boy a homody. Yes, you call World Cup now. Your boy a homody. But you share my way no more World Cup anymore. No, my Ghana will be also good because you say you team intra. But the mentality of the Moroccan players did that for them. Omu try. After that, what is the next target? World Cup need to be a team yet. It's the World Cup is about go and do well. Omakwako do well every you know. Realistically, tournament is possible so move to the African Cup of Nations. And into the Morocco for what's our confidence no. Obia who still have no good team or confidence of a it's a minor teams in here strong no. Omo will still have nepe no more to the host and win. Because someone him say, looking at the kind of quality, no matter our home advantage. Our supporters be behind them. This is their time.
Yeah, in 2018.
Yeah, to me.
Near
a very strong team. But based on the kind of team we had, now Ghana and Libya it's a tournament where you host the SSAG. It's the mindset of everybody in the Moroccan country. And they say, I was saying AFCON looking at the kind of quality they have. Technically, tactically, individually. With teams in they have the personnel to win it. And the fans are the baby behind them. That's for a fact. And the Senegals also looking at the kind of quality they have. They have a lot of work to do. Maybe they are not possibly in the finals. I'm about everybody. Because a old game, a tournament of this nature. No one can more finals. Now maybe our captain. One of the most instrumental players. I was Senegal team Kalidou Koulibaly. The last game they played in the semi-final stage, 23rd minute no prior no free game anymore. Into the clearly, when you're such a player about a Kamwa, I am only hoping to be fit because the kind of quality Morocco attack and actually what tournament we know. El Kabi, Brahim Diaz, quality of match El Zazuli mo, born or mobile tournament we know. You need every quality player, every experienced player to stop them at this level of the tournament. And then no man here ding at the Senegal.
They are going to come to the party. They are going to show the kind of quality they have. But me feel said the home advantage and everything echo in favor of the Moroccan national team. This is their time, and they have to win it. Ken, Arsenal Bobo Kono, Nottingham Forest. Osha Arsenal performance, it will lead them this season consistently. How much so many average the English Premier League? And looking at their position on the league log, I wanted that first. As we speak, Manchester City Bobo only trail Arsenal by 6 points. How they got close? And then the last 3 matches at Manchester City are Arsenal they are widening gap. Arsenal coach Mikel Arteta. And then the man telling him say, some person who the Premier League no matter what has happened with Manchester City Bobo no. Looking at the matches remaining, Pep Guardiola and the man telling me about back into matches of this nature. And only at the widen gap near the results are here. English Premier League. Into Arsenal is going to go all out. On the part of Nottingham Forest, Sean Dyche buying they started very well. Or buying it was during that period, Oshia Manchester United. At that time, that coach, our coach Manchester United Amorim, and the United team performance and then that bad. Oshia home on the Manchester United ball draw 2-2. It was within that period, early stages, and ultimately Liverpool will go 3-0. One of the shocking results about Premier League in this season. ASR results. A lot of people didn't understand why that should be happening. But Sean Dyche in the man, and your Barca and your Mino. 3 unanswered goals. Ultimately stop this Liverpool team and attacker. One to be on for ball and to the net. Clearly. And Monday morning at that time there was through. Within that period, one of the teams are almost sorry because some person was escaping relegation. Leeds United or Chene. Within that same period. But now saying with the last 6 matches are Nottingham Forest Bobo Kunabono and Yaman Koyim Famamo. They've only won 2 in the last 6 Premier League games on Mabo. And Oma Lucy Marco 4 or the last 6 Premier League games no Mabonim into the clearly. Nottingham Forest now coaching the buy and near Conkaino. So the big question the people or Nottingham ABC say is it that Sean Dyche in Timmy Jumano? It's the new manager syndrome and an year Jumaman at the start of the Makers and the career, or Nottingham Forest Bobo Kunimwana. It is a Sean Dyche, ebe pass our notion, no. Obey sa drainer for supporters in the team, and Pennyphone team. No one cause we're keeping a Juma. The game against Arsenal a test case, but a very difficult one for that matter. You look at the Arsenal attack, this season on Liga games. Ebia Victor Jokeres, Emma a lot of goals, but the contribution was Arsenal Bobo Kunimno. The whole that play, any other things or Yama Arsenal Bobo Konu anymore has never been in doubt. Bukayo Saka on the other flank. Leandro Trossard, one of the most improved and informed players for Arsenal. This is the kind of attacker Okwakwaku facing. Defensively, Nottingham Forest has a team here strong. Individually, but collectively, saying a performance is here. Almost central defense, Milinkovic is a good centre back. Murillo, one of the most sought after players because of the performance. But our Kabomu performance na yana instead of Koye and from Nottingham Forest Bobo Kono. And to face such an attacker, it makes it difficult to me flourish in such a game. There are players in midfield that are making sure some of them are difficult. They are Arsenal, some will be control because Arsenal take over the midfield of that steamer and after that gamer and you're done for your Arsenal Bobo Kono. Ibrahima Sangare, one tough customer, and Elliot Anderson, one of the most sought after players in the English Premier League and in football in Europe. And these players have the quality. But you ask yourself, so looking at the Arsenal midfield, Declan Rice will form this particular season. And found one midfielder, I'm making sure some will be careful also. And quite not them for a fast ball. Arsenal will draw this topic because midfielders in the middle. Epic Bona, Elliot Anderson, he does a lot of the distribution. No, a beer ball in the media flanks on him. Callum Hudson or Doy. And to the honor. I don't know about Epic Ball, I don't know what you see the eye too. But that position is one of the strongest for Arsenal. It's a timber new 1 point in Declan Rice. And the Arsenal defense, looking at the number of goals from a considerable Premier League, clearly, actually, some defensive units are strong. Arsenal defense in the goalkeeping department. I came in Manchester United of yesteryears. So what travel the Chile Ferdinand in power? Quite a first one baby TV under a problem. That is the kind of Adiomu goalkeeper David Raya and the Arsenal. It may show Arsenal quality in Kitano. Any ball on about this season. No win some Manchester City Bobo Kono. Higher additions Clearly, Pep Guardiola Chelsea League don't give it up. Nti Arsenal himself or slip here at the assembly breno. Nottingham Forest and Newman Conquer and Farman go be here game away. Not the Gina ye. But the quality Arsenal has and the ambitions of the players and McQuine and Momun Conquer drop points was our game away. It will be difficult. But I see Arsenal picking the 3 maximum points on the day. Possibly maybe a 2-1 win be for your Arsenal Bobo Kono. Can Chelsea game and then a be Shelley Amorozino ye. Match no D kind boy, and it was a cup game. In tina year, prelims be as a cutting reserve and a man for Coco hair. But the real test is Shassiane against Brentford Bobo Kono.
Arsenal Brentford test.
Arsenal Brentford no. Brentford need a test because it is the Premier League. Of course, in the cup game, Arsenal feel they make us a strong squad because now about Chelsea, no doubt about it. But yet there are cup games, any Premier League games, difference kakra won because Premier League in so change any cup domestically in England. And the kind of attention any BBR. Echo honom no more. Aside that, Chelsea empeshe krampo na ontimi league no. Ontimi any domestic trophy krampo this season. Chelsea be person obesan to anya Champions League qualification. Time Enzo Maresca free honom no. Who should note no the ball bonte be that Chelsea Arsenal. Or say o make sure the standards no beto ye no. Or increasing what Chelsea bobo ko him. Or by na Chelsea more Champions League. He qualified them for the Champions League. Until it's a Rosinia bar. Clearly. Standards there that Chelsea bobo ko him no. Say Premier League na win to me nyimpo at least qualify us to the Champions League level. Chelsea possess our standards no. Ebe science what say na aba form. But when you know no, Chelsea is facing one of the biggest tests. Rosinia. Emubaya gain the amount. Ukoshiakit Andrews, a defensive-minded manager. And he has the kind of quality to defend. It's a home. Yes, or about you. But I don't know, man may be any more born, said your woo panel. No one review well through on only team. No. Now they are now results. And it makes the game difficult for Chelsea Bobo Kono. Maybe a Chelsea Ginano, they need the results. So what Chelsea are? The recent performances in the Premier League, and yet it is Enzo Maresca call. Now new manager, but it is assumed. Say new manager now, but over 10 things around the match Chelsea Bobo Kono. That is not the case entirely. But I had Danya, Rosina to be match Chelsea Bobo Kono, Shea Crampono, at least the Champions League qualification is to be the match Chelsea. And that makes it difficult for him playing against a side like Brentford. As we speak on the Premier League log, Brentford the year they change Chelsea Bobo Kono. If my memory serves me right, they lie on feet. Chelsea Bobo Kono that 8 or so. Until the clearly, team now Baba Bono. Say a league log limpo na they share your born home on the clearly. They catcher me say Brentford money was for the change Chelsea as we speak. And it wouldn't be an easy task. Players should make sure some of us step up their game. Compare say coach never finding the fit in the rhythm there. It's a sort of body block coach. The performance we saw them give against Arsenal is a clear testament somewhere ready. Some of the Juma. Only she can promote the new manager bounce and motivate you. No more pay results and farmer coach. And that is exactly what I am expecting. Can the Manchester derby? Manchester United team no. So we had the last 3 matches of both teams are. Because only City and one because the last 3 matches City about Romians are Premier League. The last 3 matches of Manchester United in the Premier League are also about Romians are. But Thomas who dey nyepe City dey na bro Manchester United nto bebre teams are Manchester United dey on board draw no or draw against Wolves or draw against Burnley and or draw against Leeds United. Manchester City draw against Sunderland, one of the most difficult teams to beat this season in the Premier League, or draw against Chelsea and or draw against Brighton into the clearly or about draw me and Sunday draw be a draw. But looking at the opponent, none of the more danger in Manchester United there no. And to the two year. Manchester City Bobo Kono, there are 3 players who are tormentors. They are Manchester United. Erling Haaland, Phil Foden, and Antoine Semenyo. Semenyo this season, games are about Premier League game over 10 goals, 3 assists. Aside Haaland or Manchester City, there is no player or Man City or numbers against Semenyo this season. But Manchester already in Canada 2 no. Cup games. Barca o share assist ye. Barca una unya win another Manchester City. Inti ni pair be hwese obetimi aba be ye league ni mu ana against Manchester United. Haaland and will goals against Manchester United than any other Manchester City player. Goal contribution was 8, was assisted 3, 11 goal contribution versus Manchester United alone. May sure so buy you 2-4. So only actually grandpa the team will go the Uchi or match and he's doing just that. This season, also of form, 21 matches in the league, over 20 goals and a 4 assists, 24 goal contribution. Phil Foden American assem so. Team are watching with Premier League nim kese pa Brighton 8. We need free one Manchester United or 7. Nti mrantie miensa we and e be ye adwuma no dia Manchester United. And this is the time when United were quality attacker. E betumi abo omo ne City because it is central defense ne ye.